No sé.
There's total delay,
Carlos,
which is weird.
¿nos subirías esa mampara? You tell us when we're on.
You guys are on.
Awesome.
You see him?
Oh.
And you
Well,
hear-
welcome everybody.
Okay, and you don't, well, no, it's not, you're not, you hear audio? Yeah. Oh, you hear it?
Hi, guys.
Bear with us as we get the technicalities of YouTube live streaming underway. And we're also going to wait a few minutes to let everybody kind of gather into the live stream.
You expect record.
And the delay is mind-blowing.
Can we zoom out a bit? Oh, it's really delayed, huh?
Yeah.
Is it going to catch back up, or?
I don't think it catches back. I don't think it would catch up. I think
But it's not like the audio is off sync.
no, it's just everything's like a little behind.
Great. How many viewers do we have? 76. Great.
76 viewers waiting for you guys to say something. Okay, so there's audio, right? You guys hear it, okay? And is it like screeching audio or is it good audio? Okay. Right. We want everybody to have the best possible audio experience.
Gabe, are you ready to do your backflip?
Yeah. Someone just commented audio is good to go.
Oh,
Thank you.
Guys. We appreciate it.
hey, it's a first, right?
Yeah.
No, we're not using an iPhone.
No, we'll wait another minute or two. You know, some people are waiting to log in. Thank you guys for bearing with us. We are very excited. We're in our final 15 hours, I believe it is, before the campaign is over at midnight Pacific time tonight. We're going to walk through some product stuff and answer your questions as they come rolling in. It's pretty cool. We have the capability to do this on YouTube.
Technology is a wonderful thing.
You used to need like a TV station to do this kind of thing.
Yeah. 2020.
So my only concern is if we're delayed, how are the questions going to be coming in?
Well, they see the delay, right? They see you like 30 seconds or whatever behind.
Right, but do the comments come in?
Well, no, they can only comment when they see it.
Correct.
Right? So everything is delayed.
Okay.
The whole world is on hold.
It's kind of weird to be living with a 30-second delay.
Listen, in case you guys say something, we have time to beep it.
Okay, we are over 100 viewers.
Are we waiting for
Juggleberry, PB, Shar.
But we're waiting for 1,000?
Yeah. Great.
All right.
All right.
Should we kick it off?
Let's do it.
Awesome. Well, welcome everybody to our Nebia headquarters in San Francisco. Some of you out there have been to our headquarters because we are open to the public if you sign up on our website to do demos of our products. Some of you are even lucky enough to test out future products when we are doing testing in Therme, which is our shower lab. We're super excited to be here with all of you guys today. Kickstarter is where we started as a company. This is our third campaign, and we are now in our final 15 hours of our third campaign. And it is with great humility that we want to say thank you. You guys have given us life, the Kickstarter community, and on 3 different occasions, you've brought new products to this world, and it truly is with your support that we're here. The good, the bad, and the ugly, all of the honest feedback and the support that you've given over the years. So thank you for allowing us to make yet another dream come true with this product. We're super excited to dive into the details, tell you about it. This is a product that we have been dreaming of since we started Nebia more than 5 years ago. And it's really exciting for us to be here and say this. This is, as I mentioned, our third campaign. We've now had over like $7 million raised on Kickstarter. We're getting really close to that. We're getting close to $2 million on this campaign. And tens of thousands of showers shipped to like 60 some odd different countries around the world, a couple 100 million gallons of water saved. And we think with this product, we're well on our way to saving 1 billion gallons of water as a community. And we are not stopping here. This is just another step in our journey. So we hit our intro. We're going to go over 2 or 3 other key points. And in then about 5 or 10 minutes, we're going to open it up to Q&A. So feel free to let your questions roll into the comment section below the video. Ryan, Tyler, and Carlos, who are all here lined up around us, are going to be fielding your questions and shooting them off to us. And they will be responding in the comment thread as well. In the meantime, Max and Tom are working in the background. So if there are any super technical questions that Gabe can't answer, we will pass them on to them. So be warned, guys. Manny doesn't like to talk very much. Manny's a little bit shy. Potentially we'll get Manny to answer a question or two. Gabe, maybe you can start with point number 2. Why did we end up doing Nebby by Moen? We've internally called it Nebia 3.0 for a long time. It's been something we've envisioned for maybe since the beginning.
Yeah.
Maybe you can talk a little bit about why we did Nebby by Moen and how it's coming to life.
Yeah. I mean, we started Nebia with a goal of having impact on the world, making products that are better for the world. And it takes scale to have impact. And from day one, we wanted to take the technology we were developing and bring it to scale. And Nebia by Moen is probably the biggest step we've made in that. Nebia by Moen is our most affordable product. We've taken our technology and developed nozzles literally from the ground up, taking all that we've learned over the last 5 years and making a shower experience that we think is incredible for everyone, and also at a price point that we think more and more people can purchase. And on top of that, a shower system that works in more places. Mm-hmm. It operates at a lower pressure. It allows us to be in more showers and really work towards that goal of saving 1 billion gallons of water.
Can you talk a little bit more about why it's important that it works at lower pressure and like how we got to realizing that was an important issue and what is the range of pressures and also what it took to make that work? Because that's a feature that I don't think we celebrate as much, mm-hmm. but it took an insane amount of work.
Yeah.
The custom pressure regulator.
For sure.
You can just.
Yeah. You know, when we started Nebia, we didn't have experience making plumbing products. We hadn't made a shower before. And in the lab, when you're building prototypes, you set the pressure of the water coming in, and then you build everything around that. What we learned when we go into people's houses and install prototypes is that there's a wide range of pressures, not just across the United States and across the world, but even in a building, there can be a wide range of pressures in a neighborhood. And if you design a shower that only works at one pressure, the experience is different if it moves, if there's different pressures.
Our production team is telling you to speak up a little bit, Gabe.
Yeah.
They're saying it's a little hard to hear you guys.
Okay.
Okay.
Can we increase the audio input, Bill? Yeah. By the way, behind the camera today is Bill McLeod, our trusty, long-standing partner behind the camera and partner in crime in making Nebby a reality. So shout out to Bill.
So blame me.
Exactly. Audio issues are his fault.
So one of our goals with Nebia by Moen and all of our products was really to make a shower experience that's wonderful. And part of having a wonderful shower experience is making sure that's consistent. Whether you have 80 PSI in your home or you have 20 PSI in your home, we want your shower to be fantastic. And what we learned really quickly is you really do have an incredible range of pressures, as I was saying, not just across the United States or the world, but even in a building. You know, if you're on the 2nd floor versus the 10th floor, you can have a huge pressure range. And when we started to see this, when we installed prototypes, we realized that we needed to control the pressure that arrived at our nozzles very precisely. And with our first product, we needed to control it around 35 to 40 PSI. A lot of homes have that pressure, but some don't. And if you didn't have that pressure, it was a suboptimal experience. So one of the learnings from our first product was, hey, if we can make our experience at a lower pressure, more people will be able to benefit from it. More people will be able to enjoy it. And so our goal with our Gen 2 and with Nebia by Moen was to operate at a lower pressure, but also to provide this enveloping experience with great coverage and great rinsability. We don't want someone to install Nebia by Moen and have too high of a pressure. That actually can cause a bad experience, can cause stinging. So what we needed to do is control things very tightly. And what we developed in our first product, and we've iterated and made better in Nebia by Moen, is a custom pressure regulator. And what this allows us to do that other showers don't do is, regardless of the pressure that's coming in from your wall, from your plumbing, we bring that pressure down to a very specific controlled level. And then we feed water at that pressure to our nozzles. By doing that, we know that regardless of where you're installing Nebia by Moen, you're getting this experience that we've crafted specifically for this product. So if you are on the 10th floor of a building and you have 18 PSI, so pretty low water pressure, you're going to get a great experience with Nebia by Moen. If you go downstairs to the second floor, and because it's a system that's fed from the roof, you might actually have 60 or 70 PSI. You'll get the same wonderful experience on the second floor. But in order to do this, we had to develop a custom pressure regulator that, regardless of the scenario, would allow us to do that. And that's what we've done, and that's what's built into Nebia by Moen. And that's also the part that attaches to the wall.
Awesome, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the only thing I'd add to that is this is, in many ways, Nebia by Moen is the product that we set out to build when we first started on Kickstarter. From a feature set standpoint, temperature profile, feeling and sensation of water, but also from a price and cost perspective. It turns out we weren't able to do that on the first and second product because we didn't know what we didn't know. And when we first launched it on Kickstarter, we had obviously several prototypes. We had an idea about production and manufacturing. But a lot of the things that we wanted to do, such as the easy install without screwing anything to the wall, hitting certain water savings targets, are things that just simply had never been done before in the shower industry. And we've come to learn over the years, since our first Kickstarter campaign, that there's a reason why they hadn't been done. It's really hard to make some of these things work. But I think finally on our third iteration with tens of thousands of customers around the world, a few years of feedback, and now with our partnership with Moen and leveraging their engineering talent and resources with ours, we've been able to hone it down to just the right features and parts that really matter. And so Nebby by Moen is in many ways what we've set out to do since the very beginning, and we're super thrilled that you guys are going to be starting to receive it within really a few weeks. It'll take several months for everybody to receive their units. We sold a lot more than we predicted we would. But in March, we'll be shipping the first couple thousand. We've had several people ask the question, why are we on Kickstarter again? This is a really easy question for us to answer because we need Kickstarter to make this product become a reality. We partnered with a really big company called Moen. It definitely is helping us solve a lot of these technical challenges, simplify the product in a way that makes engineers and product designers really happy. Simplification in terms of just making it better while maintaining the quality and being able to bring it to our customers at a cost and a price that is a lot more accessible. But we as a company are still a 14-person startup. Bill, maybe you can sort of just pan and show our space. You guys have maybe seen it in some of our videos or on our social media if you follow us on Instagram, other places. But there's Carlos. We have 7 people based in our San Francisco office and 7 people based in our Mexico City office. We're still a pretty small team, and we still need a lot of help to make this product become a reality. And we can't emphasize enough how important it is to have initial consumer feedback and initial minimum orders to get a product off the ground. And so while we have Moen's partnership and they're going to be distributing it through other channels later in the year, we as a company to continue to innovate and work on new products need Kickstarter. It's also the only place in the world that we found that will give you as much feedback with as direct a line of communication with the customer and as honest. I mean, we hear it all, and we, the line of communication goes straight from our, phones, visitors that come in, computers, straight to our engineering team, straight to our customer experience team, and we iterate and make changes on the fly as much as we can.
Yeah. And I want to piggyback on that and say it's also a thank you to the original Kickstarter community who supported our first product when it was still, in prototype phase, and we had a dream to build the company that we have today. We want to go back to that community with our first, release of the product. Like, we want to give that community, we want to say thank you. We want to say thank you to everyone on Kickstarter who believed in us, in our future products, the products that we've developed, and this product. Being able to go to a community as involved as Kickstarter, as Philip said, it gives us great feedback. It also allows us to understand what people desire in a product. It allows us to understand really quickly what we should be working on next. And so we want to say thank you to that community. And one of the ways we can do that is to go to Kickstarter first, to provide a product at a price that you won't see anywhere else, and really say thank you. Thank you for believing in us 5 years ago. Thank you for believing in us right now. And we want our community to have these in their homes as quickly as possible. And that's why we do it. And I'm excited when they start going out in the next few weeks to start getting that feedback, to hear from people, to know what's going great, to know what's not going great, how we make something better. That's how we get better as a company. Every time we release something, every time we make an update, we make a change, we learn from it. And I can say without a doubt, we wouldn't be where we are today without the Kickstarter community. The support in terms of units, but also the support in terms of, hey, have you guys thought about this? Hey, this is my shower stall. It doesn't work here. And then we're like, oh, well, we see, there are millions of types of shower stalls. We get these pictures. That's one of the ways that we can continue to innovate and continue to make the product better. So thank you from the bottom of my heart, and I think from everyone here at Nebia. The Kickstarter community has allowed us to do that, and that's why we go back, and that's why we are there.
Awesome. Somebody says that you can hear me drinking water louder than you can hear Gabe talking. Maybe we can adjust your mic a little bit, Gabe. I'll stop drinking water.
Sorry, Gabe.
All right, let's dig into the product. So we've got basically all of the components that you see coming straight out of the box here laid out on the table. So there's the main bracket and arm, as we call them. And these parts are pretty much all aluminum. This part is plastic. And it's a similar mechanism that you've seen on our previous versions. It slides up and down, holds its position. This is what the back looks like, the water inlet. This is the custom regulator. And this is the adhesive at the bottom of the bracket. New to this product is the option to screw it into the wall, both the bottom of the bracket and the dock adhesive mount, which can be screwed into the wall. So the install, we're going to sort of walk you through a little bit what are the steps you need to do when you take the product out of the box. The first thing you'll do is measure the depth of the female pipe inside of your wall. In North America, it's called an NPT. Outside of North America, it's called a BSPT. We give you this little device called a key, which is the same that we've been using in the past. It's got a few different letters here. I'm not sure if you can see that. You stick it in your wall. It measures a certain depth, and that corresponds to one of these different pipe adapters. And so you pick the pipe adapter that corresponds. We have a trusty little chart and the install guide that'll tell you, looks like that's out of focus, but, and then some Teflon tape that you wrap around one of the ends of the pipe adapter. You then screw on a collar. This is on your wall. And what's really cool is that this collar is just going to click into this metal piece here. And so you'll just pop it on until you hear the click. New to this version is the use of this spring. You're probably asking, what the heck is this spring on the end of the pipe? Gabe, do you want to really quickly just explain what we did before and what we're doing on this version?
Sure. So in Nebia Gen 2 and in original Nebia, we actually had a visual indicator that said, hey, this is locked into place. On this one, on Nebia by Moen, what we're doing is we're using a spring to give you a different sort of visual indication. If it's not locked into place, that click that you heard, the spring will push it off the wall. So you'll see like, hey, this isn't locked into place yet. The reason this is really important is if it's not locked into place, when you turn on your water, your shower's going to shoot off the wall. And we really don't want that to happen, both damaging the shower, but most importantly, damaging our customers. So that is why we have a spring on this one. It's just a different way of accomplishing what we did in Gen 2 and our original with a visual indicator.
The next step is threading the showerhead hose through the arm. So you just put it in through this hole, feed it through, and it'll come out on this other end. You want to feed that up, Gabe?
Sure.
And then this step here is pretty easy. There's just like a little click mechanism that pops it into place. Boom, it's clicked in. Then you have the end of the hose here, and there are, for those of you who ordered in North America, there are 2 inlets on the bottom. If you're getting the waist-high version for BSBT outside of North America, there will be 3 inlets here. 1 for the water supply, 1 for the shower head, and 1 for the wand. For North America, which is most of our customers, about 75%, there'll be 2 water inlets. You can stick it into either, depending on where your valves are, and you just pop it in. It's easy as that. If you wanted to shower without the wand connected, you'll need a plug. Those of you who ordered just the rain shower will have the plug in the box. And now it's a totally functioning shower system. We can do the hose next. You want to hold that for a second?
Sure.
The hose is pretty much just as easy. The hose for the wand, I should say. It's got one end with a metallic quick connect pipe adapter. You stick it into the bottom of the handheld hose. Once this has been plugged in, it cannot be removed. Mind you, there's no reason ever to remove it because you're not going to need this hose for anything else, but just know that once you connect these two, it cannot be removed without disassembling the wand. You click it in, right? It's in, and then same deal on the bottom of the bracket. We're just going to plug it in, boom, quick connect. Now, if you wanted to swap these around or unplug them from the bottom, it's super easy. There's 2 buttons down here. You just pull it out and stick it back in. Boom. Just pull them out, stick them back in. These are common in plumbing, but not common in showers, and it makes cleaning and installing and moving your units a lot easier. All right, Gabe, you need to speak up more still.
All right. I will speak up. Huh? Maybe my mic is off. That would be very bad, but I don't think so.
Maybe saying turn up the volume on your mic.
No, it's something I can do.
Okay.
Gabe's not saying anything important anyway, so it really doesn't matter. Just listen to me.
Philip, so we're good.
He's just here to look pretty.
Yeah, but I will both speak up, and I think we'll turn up the mic.
And then the last step in installing your Nebby by Moen is to connect the bottom of the bracket, which comes with this this piece, which is new to this version of Nebby by Moen. We had a different plastic piece in the older versions. This is a metallic bracket mount. And it comes with holes, 2 holes that can be secured through screws to drill into the wall, or with an adhesive. You just remove the adhesive peel. And this allows you to secure the bottom of the bracket from any sort of rotational movement and keep it in place. This doesn't really bear any weight. It doesn't hold any weight. All the weight is held by the pipe at the top of the bracket. Why don't we explain what these 3 spacers are? Because in the last couple of weeks, we've been getting a lot of questions about ledges. That is to say, if you have a drywall and then some sort of an outcrop for either tiling or fiberglass bathtub rim. Maybe you can explain why we did this, what kind of work it took to figure it out, and what are the edge cases?
Absolutely. So I'll actually take a slight step back.
Yeah.
Philip showed you these 4 adapters here that that are made out of brass that screw into your wall. If you purchased a shower before that's not Nebia, you'll realize that they don't have these. No other shower has these. The MPT adapters, as we call them, the collars and the spacers are something that we design custom. And we design them custom because we want to be able to install a shower system in any setup. And what we learned as we dug into the design around this is that everyone's shower stall is different. On top of that, almost everyone's in-wall female MPT adapter, the depth is different. So there are some standards out there, but the truth is when a contractor or someone builds a home, how deep in the wall your connection to your water connection is can vary. And what we learned is that in order to make something that anyone can install, we needed to provide some adjustability. And what we designed were these 4 MPD adapters that essentially take into account over 99% of the different depths that you could have in your shower. And we did that, again, as I mentioned, we had never built showers before, so the way we did that is we actually made an internet survey and asked people to please take off their shower head and measure how deep in their wall this MPT female pipe was. Taking that data, we then crunched the numbers and we designed these 4 different lengths to allow you to choose, using the key, what the right length was for you. And so the combination of these 4 adapters in these 2 different collar lengths allows you to go from something that's completely flush against the wall, 0 inches, to over 3 inches inside your wall. So the other thing that we learned when we asked people to take off their shower and measure things and send us a picture is that, as Philip mentioned, some people have ledges. So their shower comes out of the drywall, but then there's a ledge. Sometimes it's an acrylic tub, sometimes it's tile. And we still want people to be able to install Nebia given that. And so what we do is we give you these 3 spacers. There's 3 different thicknesses, and they can actually be stacked. So you can make various different depths. And so when you measure with the key, what you do is you both measure, how deep inside your wall is your female MPT. You also measure how big the ledge is outside of the wall. Those 2 pieces of information together allow you to use MPT adapters and these spacers to make sure that Nebia by Moen still sits flush against either your tile or acrylic tub, and you have elegant spacers to hold it off the wall and to make sure it's secure.
You're still having trouble hearing you.
Yeah. Feedback that people can hear you when you're close to Philip. So
Got it.
Talk
so
like this.
it does look like my mic then is.
You want to come over here for a second?
Yeah, we can come over here and.
Yeah, while Philip's talking, you can.
Yeah.
Let me just check rhythm.
All right, let's go to Q&A.
There.
Okay, Zach asked, and maybe you should repeat this because they probably can't hear me. What's some of the most interesting feedback that you've received from customers over the course of the 3 campaigns? Love you guys, especially you, Gabe.
Thanks, Zach.
Thanks, Zach, for the question. I'm wondering who that Zach is. Some of the most interesting feedback that we've received from backers over the last 3 years, and a shout out to the team. I think the most interesting feedback that we've heard over the years is the varied use cases and reasons why people are interested in Nebia. When we set out to do this, it was principally to save water, right? Carlos was running a large chain of health clubs and was really concerned about the high use of water. He worked with his father, who was an octogenarian, retired tinkerer and engineer. He's now in his mid-90s and he's doing great, as a way to save water. And so that was how we got into this. And we realized that people would want to shower for and save water for different reasons. But we thought that was always going to be the main pull. Now, fast forward 25 or 20 to 25,000 showers shipped around the world, 60 different countries, and it turns out that people want it for all sorts of different reasons. They want it because it makes their bathroom feel upgraded and feel sort of like a spa experience. I think the most interesting feedback is when we get people talk about how it makes their skin feel soft and hydrated because they're not having as much water rushing on their skin, taking off natural oils. People who like to wash their pets They lower the shower head as far as possible, throw their dog in the shower stall, and then use the wand and the overhead spray. Kids, there's sort of a lot of different use cases. We've had hotels install it, we've had universities install it, we've obviously had gyms install it. And so it's cool to see that it's used in all of these different places. Obviously, a shower has to do 3 things really well. It has to get you wet and rinse you off when you put shampoo, soap, and conditioner on your body. It needs to keep you really warm, and it needs to be a relaxing sensation that feels good. And so that's the feedback that we always kind of try and center on. And it's hard because we're solving for a lot of different variables, like people's shower stalls and the variables that impact those different experience factors swing a lot from one bathroom setup to another. What's the temperature inside of your house? How open is your shower stall? What is the water pressure like in your house? And we try and solve for as many of those cases as possible. Thanks, Zach. Another question?
Yeah, we have one. Is it true that Tim Cook is an investor?
That is true. Tim Cook is an investor in Nebia. He's actually our first investor. And it was really just serendipity that we met. He tried one of the early prototypes and believed in us and has supported us the whole way. So we've been lucky to have him on our side.
We got one question on if we could tell people what finish this is.
Spot resist nickel. Spot resist means that it's a proprietary finish that Moen developed, actually, so that you don't have any watermarks or finger marks. It's actually really awesome. And nickel is pretty self-explanatory.
And it looks gorgeous.
Yeah. This is, by the way, the color that we have sold the most of. I think like 53% of Nebby by Moens, or 54%, according to a survey we did, are for this color.
We got a question. Are sprinkler system heads next?
Yeah, you take that.
It's a great question. We're looking at a lot of different products. Our R&D team, some of which are back there, look at a wide range of things. As a small team, we're pretty focused still in the home and in the bathroom. And I think that we'll be there for a little while, but we definitely want to take this technology that we spent a lot of time developing and use it everywhere that we can to save water and provide a better experience.
Will you be able to fit a water filter in between the head unit?
Basically a question about the water filter aspect.
Inline filters. The answer to that is no. So Nebia comes with two inline water filters. One is right here, which is really easy to remove. You see it, just pop it on and off, and can be cleaned. And you saw how easy it was to install and uninstall. But because of the way it's designed, you can't fit inline another off-the-shelf water filter. Hit us with questions. Logged in all the way from South Africa. Thank you, Maritz. Kanti, I see your message. I did get your email. I'll get back to you in the next day or two. Great question and great segue. We hadn't shown this piece yet. So this is the magnetic dock, as we call it, which can go on the wall with an adhesive or with some screws that are provided in the box. And it's really awesome because it sticks onto your wall and it just allows you to have a mounting place to use the wand or hand shower as a side spray. And so the reason to have multiple of these is if you want to position it in different places. Perhaps there are 2 or 3 people who use the same shower stall that are varying heights. Kids, the difference between partners. And we do sell additional docks on our website. So we'll do that in the coming months. You'll be able to get them. For Nebia 1.0 and 2.0, we've had tons of customers order 2, 3, 4. Actually, we even saw one customer who bought 6 of them, and they had 6 different mounting places. It might be a little bit overkill, but we'll happily sell them and ship them to you.
Mauro asked if it would be, basically, are there going to be shower knobs available that match
Great question. Will there be shower valves and trims available to match the finishes? Absolutely. They're already available for add-on on our Kickstarter page. So if you scroll down the page, or if you look in our Kickstarter update number 4, which was last week, you can see instructions for how to increase your pledge for both the valve and the trim. And it's really important that you get both the valve and the trim, or that you check to make sure that you have a compatible Moen PosiTemp valve for the matching trim. Those will also be available for add-on through BackerKit and on our website.
Getting a question, will we be able to buy the wand on its own, or I guess it would also be able to upgrade for it?
Yeah, that's a great question. The question was, get just the rain shower, will we be able to buy the wand on its own? The answer is yes. If you want to upgrade later, and honestly, we've had an incredible amount of feedback about how much people love the wand, both to use it and also to use it, also leave it on the wall as kind of a body spray. You will be able to purchase this separately. You will not be able to purchase the wand to use with a different system. It only works with Nebia by Moen, so you will need the rain shower head to make it work.
The reason for that is because of the connector. I see.
One more question.
Sure.
So the shower head and the wand can be used simultaneously, and is the wand has enough pressure to rinse off shampoo out of the hair?
Does the wand have enough pressure to rinse shampoo out of the hair? Absolutely. You can use both the overhead shower and the wand simultaneously. As a matter of fact, we encourage you to do so because it works as a great side spray. So make sure you position the dock somewhere around your midsection, your waist, belly button area, low back. And the wand is super powerful. Also, the overhead spray has more than enough pressure to rinse out shampoo and conditioner. We test this ad nauseum with both people who have thick, long, curly hair, and we've designed internal tests to measure the efficacy of rinsing. I don't know, Gabe, if you want to mention really quickly, we have Tom and Manny in the background, but
sure.
What the rinsing efficiency test is like.
Yeah. So one of the things that we have done based on feedback from not just our showers, but showers in general, is really try to objectively understand how rinsing works. And one of the tests that we've designed is using Manny and a wig. You can see Manny back there. And what we do is we impregnate the wig with salt water, so we know how much salt water there is.
By impregnate, you mean soak?
Soak, yes. We soak the wig in salt water. We then put the wig on Manny, and we rinse for a fixed amount of time. And what happens, we then take the wig off, we put it back into water, and we can measure the conductivity of that water after the wig is soaked in there. And that tells us how much salt water has been rinsed out by the shower. So not only can we test our products, we can test competing products to make sure that we can rinse as well or better than the top showers on the market. And that's how we figure out our rinsing efficiency. We then take our prototypes, and we, as Philip said, we put people under it. And we have them shower, we have them use shampoo, different hair types, and we get their feedback. We ask how it is. And that's part of our iterative process to make a shower experience that's really fantastic. And you can see, oh man, that wig looks great. But yeah, you can see Tom showing us over there how we put the wig on Manny. That is the shower setup we use. Oh, and I'm blocking it. So that's the shower setup we use.
Well, once we have the testing measured and compared to standard showers, we also test it with humans and make sure that that's corroborated. Hey, Tom, I don't know if you want to come over here for a second.
Sure.
You have to stand very close to me because of the mic. Tell us how the rinsing efficiency for Nebby by Moen compares to prior versions, like percentage-wise, more or less how much better it is, and how it compares to other tests, other shower heads on the market that you tested.
Sure. I think one of our biggest complaints about Nebia 1.0 was that the rinsing wasn't good enough, and that kind of thick and big hair just required more time to get all the shampoo and conditioner out of it. So then we had kind of a incremental improvement with Nebia 2.0, and then another incremental improvement with Nebia 3.0, or Nebia by Moen. And I think it was like approximately a 10 to 20% increase in rinsing efficiency for each step from 1.0 to 2.0 and from 2.0 to Nebia by Moen. And for Nebia by Moen, I think we've seen no real difference between rinsing efficiency for Nebia by Moen and rinsing efficiency for kind of more typical off-the-shelf, like heavy stream showers. So we're looking at about equal rinsing efficiency for Nebia by Moen and typical showers.
So I'm curious, when you were doing these tests, I remember seeing you dunking your hands into the bowl full of an insane amount of salt water.
Yeah.
Do you have to use extra hand lotion
Yeah,
those weeks?
extra moisturizer for sure to make sure that my skin doesn't dry out.
Your hands still look a little dry.
Yeah, I can get a close up real quick.
Thanks, Tom.
Cool. We've got a few more minutes left here. If you guys want to run through the last, or make a list of the last few questions we'll be answering, we'll stay on the comment wall and answer questions for the next few minutes after this. You can also comment on our Kickstarter page. Remember, there are now probably about 14 hours left in the campaign. Visit us on Kickstarter.com. Now's your chance to back for the best prices you'll ever see for Nebby by Moen. And again, the first couple thousand units that we ship will go out next month.
Maybe it would have been good while Tom was still here, but some questions about what we've done to improve warmth.
Warmth. You can speak to that.
Yeah, sure. So the nozzles in Nebia by Moen are designed 100% in-house, and with several different purposes, but one of them was to ensure enough warmth with just the shower head. So this is the first product that we are going to sell that doesn't come with the wand included. You can upgrade for the combo, and we recommend it because it's fantastic. But what we did is we designed just the rain shower head to be warm enough, to make sure that in all different shower stalls, it will be warm enough. And we actually use many to do that. Just like we do with the rinsing test, we have a test. Manny has dozens of thermocouples on it. You can see them. And what we do is we run the showers, we run our showers and competing showers, and we measure the temperature. And we set a floor. We set a temperature that a shower needs to reach in order to be warm and enveloping. And Nebia by Moen does that. We then take those prototypes, as I discussed, and we put them in our test shower, and we have people come. We have people at Nebia, but we also have friends. And then we have people who don't know us come and shower, and then we ask them, how does it feel? Is it warm enough? Does it rinse? Is it enveloping? Does it feel great? And that's how we make sure that the product is warm enough and it rinses enough, and people love it.
So the main differences, right? The way I explain, hey, what's the difference between 1.0, 2.0, and now Nebby by Moen, is if there's a spectrum of shower experience that encapsulates warmth, sensation, power, etc. A regular shower is on this end. Nebia 1.0 is on this extreme end. 2.0 is here, and Nebby by Moen is here. If you look on our Kickstarter campaign page and in our video, you'll see a spectrum graphic that shows the droplet size. And so what we've perfected or tweaked in this version of Nebby by Moen is the velocity of the droplets, the size of the droplets, the direction of the droplets, and the overall profile and makeup of the droplets. And it's really through a lot of iteration, testing, simulation, and then getting people naked to try a prototype and tell us what they think and see if it backs up what we've been forecasting. The biggest thing that makes a difference in terms of heat retention and why Nebby by Moen is warmest is because it's has the biggest droplets of any version of Nebby we've made in the past. Regular shower heads have droplets on average between 1,000 to 3,000 microns. Nebby by Moen had droplets on the order of 190 microns. Nebia, that was Nebby 1.0. Nebia 2.0 had droplets on the order of 230 microns. And Nebby by Moen has average droplet sizes around 290 microns. So relative to 1.0 and 2.0, it's a lot bigger. But it's still very much on one end of the spectrum, which we sort of like to consider the Nebia zone. That gives it this great sort of enveloping steam-like experience, still with enough power to get you wet. All right, a couple more.
Yeah, a couple easy ones. For the European versions, will there be an adapter or a different version?
Yeah, so for European versions, there's actually two. There's ones that looks very similar like to this and has these same adapters. And that's if you have in-wall outlet that's above your head. If you have a waist-high outlet that's outside of your wall, it'll be a completely separate version of Nebia by Moen. It won't be an adapter, it will be a completely separate version. You will need to screw into your wall, and the reason for that is that you don't have this above head load-bearing part that we can use. You will need to essentially screw into your wall what we give you to be load-bearing.
The difference is also this piece at the bottom here. There are this pipe connector. There'll be 3 inlets, one for the water supply coming from your waist-high water supply, then one for the overhead shower and one for the wand.
I have a question here.
Carlos has a question.
Would you recommend using Nebia by Moen with an electric tankless water heater?
What question is, would we recommend using Nebby by Moen with an electric tankless water heater?
Yeah, absolutely. You should check your water heater and see what the minimum flow rate is to make sure it kicks on. But almost all of the tankless water heaters we've seen will work with Nebia by Moen. You just need to check that. It's on the install guide or guide for your tankless water heater. They work great together. Tankless water heaters are super efficient. We have one in the office. We highly recommend them.
Is it possible to use just the one to get wet when washing?
Question is, can you use the wand without the overhead? Unfortunately, you cannot do that. We know this is a highly requested feature, and we've racked our brains. We've worked also with Moen's engineering team to see if there's a way to do this. And because of the fact that all of the water on-off switches are outside of the wall, they're downstream from the valves, there are a couple of really challenging regulatory issues around doing this. I don't know, Gabe, if you want to give a really brief explanation as to why.
Sure. So essentially, there's multiple regulatory reasons to why we can't do it. One of them with the wand is actually the flow rate is so low that there are regulations about how much water is flowing through your valve at any time. And with just the wand, we can be below that. And that is one of the reasons that we can't have you just use the wand.
And the issue there is the water crossing.
Yeah, the issue there, the reason there's regulation about this is to make sure that if someone flushes a toilet, it doesn't scald you. So in kind of older houses and sitcoms from like the 80s, someone would flush a toilet and the shower would get really cold or really hot, which is dangerous. And that has been addressed regulatory-wise with valves that will automatically compensate, but they only do that at a certain flow rate. And the wand by itself is below that flow rate.
All right, maybe 1 or 2 more questions, and then we'll wrap it up.
Okay, how did you guys meet?
How did we meet? Sure. So there are 14 of us on the team, but how Carlos, Gabe, and I met. Carlos and I met in Mexico City almost 7 years ago, in 2013. We met through a nonprofit called Endeavor, which helps entrepreneurs scale businesses all around the world. And Carlos was the chairman of the organization. I was working there as an analyst. We were in a meeting one day, and at the end of the meeting, he told me about this side project he had going on with his dad, which was a shower that saved water. And he invited me to his house to take a shower in a prototype. And obviously, I thought that was a great idea, so I went to his house and took a shower in the prototype, fell in love with the concept, and we started working together. And that grew from a vision of, hey, should we develop Nebia for the developing world, the base of the pyramid, where water scarcity is a really pressing issue? I had a background in that. He had a background in that. Too quickly, it was like, how can we have a bigger impact over the long run? Maybe if we start by making a shower experience that people aspire to have that's better, and we build some sort of desirability around that. We make it about innovation and design, and we build a brand. We can have a bigger impact over the long term. And over time, make products that are more and more accessible and get to more people. And it's sort of similar to the way that Tesla's strategy was to make a premium sports car, and then a premium sedan, and then a more mass market sedan. We didn't know it at the time because we weren't really following Tesla, but that's similar to our approach. And so Nebby by Moen, and those of you who have backed us on the first versions, you are enabling us to continue down that mission, and this is our first really big step there. And then Gabe, not to forget him, we met a handful of months later when we moved to San Francisco, decided this is where we wanted to start the company. Through a mutual friend who this time came over to my house to shower, hey, Jonah Greenberger, if you're out there watching. And he said, hey, you need to work with an expert in mechanical engineering and thermofluids. Here are 2 or 3 of the smartest guys that I went to school with at Stanford. And Gabe was one of them. He put us in touch on a Monday morning. We met Monday afternoon for coffee. And
the rest is history.
Yeah.
Here we are, 5, 6 years later. Wow.
Yeah. All right, last question.
Let's see. Why did we decide to call this the Nebia by Moen and not the Nebia 3.0?
The question is, why did we decide to call this product Nebia by Moen and Nebia 3.0? That's a great question. And the reason is because this is a true, even though we've been working on this product behind the scenes, and it's very much been our idea since the beginning, and it preserves a lot of the features that we've had in our earlier versions, it's very much the realization of this partnership. And we wanted the product to speak to that in an honest way. Like, we partnered with Moen about 1.5 years ago now, and we've been working behind the scenes. And what this partnership has allowed us to do is have both camps really dig into where their expertise is strongest. And so for us, that means fluid technologies, understanding the spray experience, really pushing the limits in terms of making a great shower and saving as much water as humanly possible. From the Moen perspective, it's quality engineering, figuring out great features, working with the best materials, and making something at scale. And Nebby by Moen felt like the right way to speak about it. We also don't want it to replace the Nebia Spa Shower 2.0. We want it to be a different line of products, because we really think there's a set of consumers for whom one product is better than the other. And so the Nebia Spa Shower 2.0 is very much still alive. It's a product that we're still working on. And depending on the customer, we sometimes recommend that product. It saves the most water. It's got a bigger shower head. It's a slightly bigger range of motion. And we're very excited about that product as well.
To kind of piggyback on that, Nebia by Moen is a true collaboration between two companies, and we would not be here today without the people that we work with at Moen who have helped make this possible. And I want to give a shout out to Mark Hans, to Aaron Bors, to Lori Burko, and the rest of the team at Moen. They have helped us bring this to market. Working with them has been an absolute privilege. We've learned so much in the past year, and we know that together we can have that impact that we dreamed about 6 years ago when we were all sitting around a kitchen table talking about what we could build. So thank you everyone at Moen. The team there has been unbelievable to work with, and we can't wait for the future together.
Yeah, we're still cooking up new ideas for other products we want to make and bring the Nebia technology and this experience to more homes around the world, because the only way that our company has any relevance or meaning in the world or any impact is if we can scale it. It's awesome to make shower systems that are premium, and we think the price really reflects the quality and also the savings that people can have. But this only has impact if we can get it into the homes of millions of people. And we started with that focus, and we remain dead set on that focus. So thank you guys for allowing us to make each incremental step. We really sincerely, we wouldn't be here without that. Kickstarter has been our lifeline on numerous occasions, and we're super grateful for it. So from all of our team here, I know, Bill, if you want to introduce Tyler and Ryan to the camera. Tom, who's walking away. Max, Manny, all of our team in Mexico. Sarah, Ale, Zarna, Mao, Max, Carlos Jerbowski. We say thank you guys, and all of the Nebia alumni who have been a part of this journey over the years. There's more people than we can thank, but we are super excited to continue on this journey with you. Stay tuned for updates on our Kickstarter campaign. Look out for those. If you have any questions, don't ever hesitate to reach out to us. There are 13 and a half hours left in the campaign. Tell all your friends. This is the best time to back the campaign. And we look forward to talking with you guys in the future. Thanks for tuning in.
Thanks.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
All right, we did it.